of the hello, everybody. Yep, we're about 2 minutes late. So in
Hi.
on a conversation. Welcome, everyone. Good to see you.
Wayne has put together a heck of a show, guys. This is going to be interesting. You're
Thank you. Thank you very much.
very welcome. It's true.
Elvis is
I was
back in the
seeing the
building.
pictures going, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah,
This
amazing.
is going to be, I think, one that's going to shatter a lot of perceptions, Trina.
Yeah.
So anyway, how are you doing? Good to see
I
you.
am great. How are you? And hi to everyone in chat. Much love.
Hello, hello. There's Brian. There's Belanca. There is Deep Thoughts here and now. Regine, good to see you. Robert V, hello, and the list goes on. I haven't seen, David Barry lately. I hear he's been probably busy on his. He's doing a lot of creating. So anyway, favor
Yeah.
to everybody. We just speak favor over us all. Nothing missing, nothing broken in your line. Hello, Nina the Mystic. And welcome to a fabulous, you're going to really enjoy this edition of A Second Look. So, Trina, I saw you on with Brian. Finally, I see that Brian finally got on.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a
So,
yeah, what a conundrum that was.
seemed like he was definitely the true. I would say that. What was that? I don't know. Maybe it was just the energy is probably too high around you, Brian.
I don't know.
You're just emitting this charge that
Yeah, yeah, we were
throws the
definitely
whole
having some
matrix into a
issues.
tism. It's all
We
Brian's
couldn't
fault.
get we couldn't get past 55 seconds for a couple days there.
It's like,
It was-
wow. I mean,
yeah.
hello, Miss Julie Payne. How are you doing, my dear? And Athena, good to see you. And some people I haven't seen. Melissa, hello. Twisted Isby, Lost in Spaces. Yes. So anyway, so Trina, how's everything down in the Southwest besides hot?
I was gonna say it's just getting hot, but it's still good in Arizona. It's not too bad. We're opening up real soon and things are getting back to normal. So no complaints here. Yeah.
Well, if they follow the dude that testified today, there may be some reversals on this.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, are you kidding me? You know, and I'll tell you how realities have changed, Trina. I just talked to the friend that cuts my hair. I've been going to her for I don't know 12 years.
Yeah.
So she is a beautician, holds a beautician license,
Mhm.
and the state of Colorado has now sent down. There is a whole list of procedures that you have to go through with your hairstylist in order for them to even begin to cut your hair.
Yep. Yep.
We live in a time that is unlike, and I'm sure you probably heard in the news, the restaurant in Castle Rock, which is just south of us. In fact, we've been there, that defied the OMG, the health orders. And I think it scared the establishment because the restaurant was full and they weren't wearing masks. And I think that sent a, I don't know if you want to call it a warning or a shockwave to the establishment because it seems like Americans aren't digging this whole thing.
No. I know we had an incident here in oh gosh, over by Wickenburg. I can't remember Mojave County, I think. And they still had restaurants and stuff opening. And then the people came in and they were like, "You need to shut down your business. This is an essential, whatever." The sheriff got involved and he says, "I will not uphold you telling me that my citizens going to work and providing for their families is not an essential service." So he told them he wouldn't do any of it and he wouldn't abide by any of it. So they don't require masks or anything in Mojave County because they're not having it. The sheriff is like, no,
Well,
no.
I
And
don't know
how
the
is it?
sheriff's
How
name,
is
but
not
I applaud him.
providing right
Yeah.
your livelihood for your family? How is that not an essential service?
How is
So
eating
like
not an essential
that's
service?
what
I
I
don't
mean.
get
He's
it,
like, this is completely against our oath to uphold the Constitution. He says, nowhere does it say that you cannot provide food and sustenance and livelihood for your family. He's like, they can't. He's like, this is ridiculous and I will not enforce this. And he was like, basically, get out.
You
Yeah.
got to applaud the man because it
Yeah.
it 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 says something that I don't know. eating would wouldn't that be part of life, liberty? I mean, you can't have life if you don't eat, right?
Correct.
Well, if you don't eat, you can't have liberty.
Correct.
And if I don't eat, I
And
can't
if you're
pursue
starving,
happiness
there is no pursuit of happiness. Correct. Yes.
because I'm going to be famished, man. I've been
Correct. So like what I mean, this is a violation of the very foundation of what this nation is. And it's not good for anybody. It's not, I
no,
mean, you know
no.
what? If this is a horrible cold, it's like we just need to just get through it.
Well, they say
Get
it's
through
never
it.
going to go away. So
It may not, just like the flu
it's
doesn't never go
like,
away. It's like it's a
geez.
coronavirus has been around for how many years?
Well, there's only 400 of them, you
That's what
know.
I mean. It's like, I don't know. It's like, okay, I think we could work this out. I think it'll be
I
all
think we
right.
could. I mean, and what a
I do
perfect
too.
segue. Tomorrow, David from Adapt 2030 is going to be on,
Awesome.
and we're going to be talking about the forthcoming food riots, the food shortages.
Yeah.
It's interesting how things happen, Trina. Right before we went on, when I was preparing this, I got one of my alerts from one of my easings. So it's a commodity company on the floor, and Iran just bought 1 billion metric tons of wheat. Kyrgyzstan is they're the number one exporter of wheat, flour, etc. They have stopped all exports.
Yep. Yep.
And you've got all of this coming. And so tomorrow we're going to really get into it a little bit more.
Wow.
You got to eat.
Yeah, and they're
It's just,
stopping all the food, and people don't see it yet. It's gonna be a bad deal when it comes down to play.
when you think about it, the modern supermarket is really the result of electricity and refrigeration.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we've only had that for a couple, maybe 100 years.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe a little longer. But
Yep.
so in the annals of mankind, this is pretty recent. Yeah,
Yes.
we don't have to grow our
Absolutely.
own food.
My grandma, I mean, she just passed away at the age of 95. It's a she grew up without a toilet. They had an outhouse. They were farmers. Uncle John lost his arm because he had a tractor accident. This was how it was done. They didn't have refrigeration, air conditioning. They didn't have any of that stuff. None of it.
No, no. I have
None.
relatives that grew up in the South and back in the 1900s, and they didn't have AC. No.
No, no, gosh, no. In
But they
Spokane,
did have an
Washington.
interesting way of having the airflow, which my grandfather was a logger who actually they didn't horse and mule, primarily mule, that took him out of the Sierra Nevadas, and he would go down the Truckee River with this freaking hook that weighed like 50 pounds,
Wow.
riding these logs.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
yeah, and so we are definitely in how reality shifts so fastly, Trina. It's just weird.
Yeah, it is, and it looks like it's like we might be called forth to get back to those roots because it looks like we're having problems with the systems that we've depended on so profoundly, and they're not looking like they're at all being sustained, and people are not going to do well when they're starving.
They broke it. That's all I can
They
say.
did
They
break it.
broke it.
They
Uh,
did break it, Wayne. You're absolutely broke it. You're absolutely right.
it's, I mean, I'm going to talk
Broke
about that
it.
on my Thursday night radio show on Artist First. They broke it. They
Yeah, we need to
really
find a
broke it.
way to get with our local ranchers and our local
Yeah.
farmers and literally start getting their addresses so you can go and pick up your eggs and go and pick up meat, and we'll start getting people who know how to process meat and stuff. We might have to start getting real local real fast, and we're going to have to support these farmers, guys. It takes a year to make one cow. A year. A
This
year to make one cow, and they're killing off all the cows. That means there's not going to be babies. This is an issue with meat. This is an issue with wheat. This is an issue with eggs. This is an issue with chickens. This is going across the board. Across the board.
I tell you, it reminds me of the time that I spent in the commune. And maybe we'll do a show on this, is that this is the time now to start forming local co-ops in
Yes.
your area.
Yeah.
For instance, you talked about beef. Now, there are a lot of people eat beef, and
Yeah.
I happen to be one of them. I like a good steak as well as anyone else.
I do too.
But having said that, the thing is that you could buy a standing on the hoof cow, bull, um, about 1,000 pounds. If you came together and you had 10 people
Uh-huh.
who put in $100, you
Yes.
can buy a complete cow,
Yes.
take it, get it processed,
Yes.
and it would return to that small co-op of 10.
Mhm.
Each person would literally have almost 150 pounds of beef, steaks,
Yeah.
hamburger.
Yes, is the equivalent. I mean, a whole cow will typically feed a family of four for a year.
Yeah.
You can, yeah. So, you got to figure all you got to do is get 3 cows and you've got ten people fed for a year. But people don't realize how many cows are required to feed the population. They're not seeing what's happening. The farmers are screaming right now. They're like, guys, we're going under. We're going to have to slaughter all these cows because we don't have packaging machines. We don't
Well,
have
they can't afford to feed them.
correct. And
Yeah.
yes, they can't. So we gotta find a way to help our local farmers and stuff out, or
We
we're
know we know
seriously
some ranchers out on the eastern plains, and they can't get feed.
I know.
And, trust me, you have 100 heads of cattle. That's a lot of feed, a lot of hay.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
But you're right. Someone said that they said, well, hello, spirit girl, that hello, Brandy. Melissa, good to see you, my love. Mary Wins, hello, lost in space. 7P, good to see you. That there's plenty of food. That's not that. Let me just say this. They broke it.
They
Our
broke it.
distribution system was
They broke
fragile to begin with.
it. Yep.
It was what they call the JIT model, just in time to market.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you have a disruption like a virus pandemic
Yes.
where it shuts everything down,
Yes.
you cut the flow off.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. So anyway, it's nuts, folks. It's nuts.
It is. And now we're gonna get into some more nut stuff because wait till people
Yeah.
see your pictures. I can't wait
Well,
to show
let's
you.
get into that.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's just set this for everybody, Trina. Today, the world has more what they call cameras, CCTV cameras. Never in man's history or recorded history have we ever had where there is literally an eye watching the world all the time.
Yep.
We talk a lot on this channel and on this show about ascension, about the afterlife, how we go into different planes, etc.
Yep.
Metaphysically, we love that. We love the spiritual aspect of it because it
Mhm.
seems to give us hope. These are my words, Trina.
Me too. I
Yeah.
completely resonate with all of that. All of it.
I awoke this morning at 3:13 with
Mhm.
these questions on my mind.
I do that all the time, Wayne. I literally, since I was a kid, what am I? Why am I here? What is the point? I literally been
Yeah.
asking these questions my whole life. And yeah,
The
it's a constant
questions
journey. Yeah.
that ponder us. So, Trina, I put together a presentation and allow me to get right back up there. So it got to me of capturing a soul.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, the debate is, well, what is the afterlife? You go up, and some believe they go to heaven, some people believe otherwise. But what we can say with fact is that there is proof of an afterlife. Now, here's some questions, Trina, I want our audience to think about while you see the pictures that we're going to put together. Number one, I asked the question, do spirits age? I want to know, why is it that we capture so many children in these ghostly, these souls, these spirits. Two, there must be a transfer of knowledge, or you're taught as a spirit when you leave this physical body how to transmute kinetic energy. It has to be,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise we can't see ethereal forms begin to manifest physical matter, that really what we're seeing are photons.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it seems that not all spirits are earthbound. But it also seems that there are a lot of other somethings that are in fact earthbound, which leads to the next one. Why are there so many non-human apparitions being captured? Is it merely real energy, or is this term that they use residual energy, like it's in some sort of loop, which then opens up a whole new area? And finally, Miss Trina, why are there no naked spirits?
Yeah, that was profound when you said that. I was like, you're right. They're always clothed. And then the only
Always
ones I
clothed.
haven't seen that have clothes are just light bodies. So there's no
Yeah.
face, no definition, no fingers, but it's a human form. But so they're clothed in light, like a total light suit. But you're right. I was like, you're right. You never
Oh
see
no.
naked ghosts. You
No,
never
you
do.
don't.
I've
And
never ever seen a naked ghost
I haven't either. And I think that,
ever.
I've dated a lot of women who love their girls,
Yeah,
and it goes on. But anyway, um,
right. Well, yeah.
so what we're going to be seeing, these have been captured all over the world. We're going to be seeing what appear to be full body apparitions of spirits, souls. And the thing that we have found now is that we're seeing different types of apparitions. I think I'm saying that right.
Yep.
Apparitions. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Some seem to have the ability to manifest. Others seem only to have the ability to be a dark mass.
The land of shadows.
Yes. Now, we're capturing more and more, and it really begs to ask, what are we seeing here? Because a camera is merely an optics of a lens,
Hmm.
but yet it will pick up what our human eye fails to perceive.
Yeah.
This is the young man that died, tragically, and this is his mother. This is their security camera capturing him after he's been dead. I think
Wow.
they said this is the third day he suddenly started showing up into their kitchen, into his room, the bathroom. Um, Now with the ring cameras on the doorbells, we're finding now that there are the ability, it seems, of some spirits. They have this ability to be able to convert energy, kinetic energy.
Yeah.
And it leaves us to question that if you can project dark mass, are they merely not educated enough? Or have they not mastered the technique? I don't know. But what we are capturing are, in fact, the evidence that these people, and I don't know if they're humans. I don't know if they're non-humans. They
I
certainly see.
wonder I
Go ahead.
wonder if this is capturing the dimension right above us, that the dimensions are actually blending in together through the use of all this technology. I wonder if the frequencies are now allowing us to see the dimension that's literally right on top of us.
It's a great question
Because I
because,
see dimensions literally they're like pieces of paper, because that's why it's called the veil. We're
man,
existing in the same exact space, but we can't see each other because of the different vibrations.
vibration, yeah.
Yeah, and that's all it is. The veil is a vibration.
And it seems that some of these are unaware of us and others seem to be very much aware of us.
Yeah. Well, it's like her son in her kitchen and in his
Hmm.
bedroom. He obviously is aware of his surroundings.
And that video clip, if you can actually go online and look at it, it's as if he was making himself something to eat.
Yeah, he was going through his normal life
He
routines in his
was.
home where he felt safe and where he was used to his reality existing.
So that's an
Like,
interesting question then. Is he temporarily or bound, or is this by free choice? Is this it brings up a lot of questions
me
because
too. I'm
yeah,
like my brain is spinning a million miles a minute right now.
because we're finding many of these apparitions. Um, for instance, all of us have done this as kids. I used to take LSD and go to graveyards. Um, if I knew what was really going on, because the spirits do walk the graveyards.
That little one looks like it's feeding.
Yes,
And
and
I've
he's
seen
playing a
that
prank.
before. I've seen a spirit feeding on a human soul before. I have literally witnessed that up close and personal, and it is the creepiest thing ever. And that thing is feeding.
It does look it
Gross.
to me.
Gross. Yep.
And of course, they were a bunch of kids out there, young adults. And next time you're out there, remember, this one is a real creepy one. The video behind this thing. Now, I don't know if it's a young girl. I don't even know if it's human, but this thing actually jumps into that man's body.
Yes. Oh,
She is
those
in the
hitchhikers.
process of actually vamping him, and she literally gets into him.
Wow. Wow.
And then we have what we call these shadow people. They're grotesque. They're obviously humanoid, but the question is, are they humans?
You know what I just heard, Wayne?
What?
These are the souls of the genetic modifications.
Hmm, that's interesting.
I
Because
literally just heard that. Wow.
I mean, is this the true form that they take on? And look at it. None of them are naked. All of them have different clothing. They
Yep.
have different type of patterns, as like the one over on the left, like you said. These are the full light apparitions that you can see, but yet you can't see.
Mhm.
Um, and then what are these?
The chimera. I literally chimeras. This is yeah. Those are the things that died, but they're still energetically. They've been created. We
They're
created a lot of this stuff in Atlantis, guys.
These things are all over the world.
Yeah.
They are, I would not want to have to catch one of them. This is another apparition. This is, I think this is in India, and literally going into a body.
Yep.
Here we have a young woman. Obviously, this is her dress is looks to me to be mid 19th century.
Wow.
Um, Definitely, I would say in that time period. And what's really interesting is how does how do they find the buildings of which they constantly seem to be attached to?
I think it's a magnetic imprint that you, as a soul frequency, implant upon the earth. Like like water, you know, it has consciousness of everything it touches. Somehow, I think our spirit has consciousness of everything it touches too.
This is a weird one because she doesn't cast a shadow.
Wow.
And
Right.
She appears to be hovering, and we have more proof that this is who this is. Excuse me, you'll see another view. I got the sequence wrong. That from another security camera shows her. So
Wow.
this is a young female. You know, we can get into a lot of ideas on this. So it seems to be that, does the aging stop? Is it
You know,
somehow
Wayne, I had a spirit on my family property when I was a kid, and he told us his name was Chris. And from the time I was a little kid until I was like 16 years old, my brother, my sister, and myself, we could all see him quite frequently, and he never aged.
I'm hearing bangs all up around and there's no one here in the
Oh,
house but me.
goodness gracious.
Here is a spirit attacking this young boy. And look at this one brings up a whole lot of issues. So are we seeing the full body of this spirit, this soul? And why is it that some attack? Why is it that there are the ones that seem to torment others, and there's others who just seem to be much more passive? This is the strange one. The story behind this one, she just showed up,
Wow.
and you can clearly see that something's. Look at her feet.
Wow.
If you look at the proportion of the body, something isn't right here. But look at the arms.
Yeah, they're really long.
They're long, yes.
Yeah. Like I said, I wonder if a lot of these energies are products of, because they always talked about in the Bible about the books of life. You will be stricken from the books of life. That was always shown to me that that was some type of a disassociation from your genetic code, like changing it,
I'd
modifying
rather
it.
take your view than what they teach in the church. Here's
Yeah, well,
one.
that's how it was always shown to me, and I wonder if this is a product of like the days of Noah. Remember when they said that they did so much genetic manipulation that they flooded the earth to clean it up because it was so out of hand? I wonder if a lot of these are the imprints of those times.
I'll take another view. What if these are in fact aliens that are here in their afterlife?
Oh, that could totally be. I think, yeah, spot on, Wayne. Yeah,
That's what I think we're seeing here. This is in the UK. This is a little girl.
yeah.
Again, it begs the question, why is it that the aging process seems to stop? I mean, they were obviously passed over as a child. There's videos of these spirit children playing, running
I
up
wonder
trees.
I wonder if like, because your consciousness, you are what you are. So I wonder if they're reproducing their image based upon the consciousness that they were when they passed away. So I wonder if it remains consistent because they're still stuck in that same loop of consciousness.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all over that. It begs that question. So are they the true Oberus? Is that what we're seeing here? Is a time loop, a residual energy, or
Yeah,
are these different creatures that somehow, is it possible that we could actually be, when we pass over, depending on our frequency, what if we go to another planet as a spirit form?
I could totally see that.
See,
Yes.
it, and
Yeah.
then how do we get these creatures? I mean, if this is in the woods near my house, I'm getting the hell out of there. No, I probably want to go
Yeah.
out and say, "What planet are you from?" I mean, is
Right.
that human?
I, I don't know.
See, that's the question I'm asked. And then we get these shadow people.
See,
And
that's an interesting concept. Every time I see that or hear that word, I always get Peter Pan in my head.
That's an interesting correlation.
I'm telling you, this is how they show me stuff. They're like, you need to see the truth. Look at Peter Pan. It's the shadow. What was Peter always trying to do? He was trying to catch his shadow. And Wendy had to sew it to the sole of his shoe.
There,
And
that's
that's
it.
how
Yep.
they captured the shadow. Interesting, right? There's a
It is
connection.
interesting. I love it.
Yeah, there's something with Peter Pan and the soul and the shadow and the connection and how it is anchored to the soles of your feet. I don't, I
That's
don't have all
cool.
of it yet, but there's something with that.
I have found a commonality on the females. There seems to be a lot of the younger females that are many times dressed in white.
Yes. Do you
That's
think that
interesting.
these are the sacrificed?
I don't know this
But doesn't that look
apparition.
like a common pajama that was worn way back in the day?
You see the ruffles at the bottom and it's
Uh-huh.
the poofed out arms. It's a good question.
Yeah,
Um,
I wonder if they're nightgowns because, back in the pilgrim days and all that, everybody wore the white nightgowns.
mhm.
So I always wonder, is that nightgowns or is that, I don't know, but I wonder
I
if
don't
it's
know. I see a lot of them like that.
me
Then you
too.
get creatures like this. Now I know it's difficult to see, but this is another it's another being, physical being. We'll get closer to that.
Yeah,
Again, these shadow figures.
yeah,
Um, it seems like to me there are many different races of Homo sapiens. My
yeah.
question is, do we have different souls here, different spirits? We think we're all of the same spirit. I don't think so. I think we may, in fact, be separated by the type of true energy that we are, the true
Well,
spirit.
Wayne, they always talk about those wanderers, the wandering stars, that I was always told that we were the rebel cell. So when you think about wandering stars and rebel cells, maybe some of us come in here, but we are those true travelers, you know,
Call me the wandering Jew, it's like,
right?
yeah, Um, then you get these. Um, this is a child that
Yeah.
apparently was taken due to illness, and this is the child's siblings.
Wow.
What is this saying? It it
They're still present somehow. And I wonder why some are and why some aren't. And it seems to me the correlation might be regarding trauma.
it's a very interesting thing because trauma breaks the programming, and then you
Correct.
get this kind of stuff. You get, and this looks again like a pioneer female. That's what I get the
Hmm.
impression.
Hmm.
Um, And I'm wondering if she's not even aware, is she back in, the 19th century out on the Texas plains?
When I was little, I literally would be out in the desert a lot and I would ride my dirt bike and I would literally stop and sit under a tree or whatever and just kind of chill out and look for lizards or rocks or whatever and hang out with my dog. And sometimes I would get glimpses of these time loops and I would see
Interesting.
people doing the exact things that they were doing back then. And that's how I discovered that my property that I lived on was Indian grounds and it was sacred Indian ground
Well,
because
we
I
had
saw the
John.
ceremonies and I saw the Indians and I saw them.
And John, with the Star Ranch, he saw that there was a portal, Roman soldiers coming back. This
Yeah,
one I find
yeah.
particularly interesting because this is a man who died in a hunting accident. He's wearing the same shirt,
That's what I'm
according.
saying. I think these are some type of a psychic imprints because of trauma. I could be wrong, but I really do think that that might be it. Like you said, it breaks programs, Wayne, so they won't immediately go into the recycling tube.
Yeah. This one, I have no idea. I mean, this is truly in mind is truly interdimensional here.
It does look that way.
It
Yeah.
seems like this child is coexisting in two frames, whereas this old timer, This was, you can see, was in October of 2011.
Wow.
You know, I mean, are we seeing the same thing? Again, here is another what looks to be female in a white gown, nightgown.
You know, I had a teenager one time come to my house who was filled with some seriously dark energy. I mean, serious dark energy. And she dropped one of those things off at my house.
Well,
It was
I'd be
not
passing it on to Goodwill.
yeah, that's right. It was not a good situation. And I saw it a couple times out of the corner of my eye and I thought, oh, hold the phone. But then my kid saw it. And when she saw it, I was like, that's all the confirmation I need. I got the house cleared and I said, don't let that person enter our home anymore. And yeah, it bad deal.
Here's another apparition. Another white gown.
Yeah, and what is it with the white gown and the long black hair? Because I swear to you, Wayne, it
I
looked identical
don't
to that. And it's
know.
like, what is that common view of? I don't know. What is that? It's something. I don't know.
This is Gettysburg.
Oh, but I know a lot of people who live near there who say that
There he
you can
is.
see and hear the soldiers and you can hear the cannons sometimes.
Yep.
I totally believe that.
Well, I mean, there is a soldier. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I have no problem yeah,
Yeah.
I totally believe that. I really do. And out here in
Again,
Arizona, we live on that, the first post office run and the first trails to ever, the first roads in the pioneer times. We have those. They're all around my area. And I do. I think that's why we have a lot of charge in these deserts because
I
there was
think so.
a lot of people coming from California, a lot of gold mining, a lot of banking was starting. There's a lot going on here.
Again, the white gown.
Yep.
The white gown. This woman, she
Wow.
died. That's her grave. That's her crypt right there.
Oh, wow.
She, yeah,
So that's her sitting on her tomb. Oh,
on
that's wild.
her,
Wow.
her crypt,
Yeah.
it's right to the right of her. She's sitting on
The bench. Yeah.
the bench. Yeah,
That's
for yeah,
amazing. Yeah,
yeah.
that's completely amazing that she's actually visiting her own burial. That's
It
amazing.
gets weirder. Her grandchildren and have said that that was her favorite nightgown, her robe that she wore all the time.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Okay, so if y'all see me in heaven, I might be wearing a pink robe with hearts all over it.
But this is so
Funny.
strange. And then we get these kind of things.
Oh, creep factor. Seriously.
Seriously, creep factor. What
Woo.
is it?
Oh God, I do not know.
Um,
No.
this why, it leads me, what are these?
Oh my gosh, I do not know.
Is this a human? Is this a human soul that's in damnation?
Is
Is
it a
this,
chimera? Is it a genetically modified thing that did not
is it
live?
an alien?
Yeah, it could be all of yeah. Gosh almighty.
What about this one?
Holy creepness. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you imagine running into that? Oh, no, thank you.
Could you imagine running into that in the afterlife?
Yeah, well, yeah, no. No, thank you. No, thank you.
I
I'll
mean,
pass.
are these things, are they physically living? I don't know. I, it's, I mean, what is
No.
this? What the hell is that?
Total gray alien.
Yeah,
Total.
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 And this kind of stuff. I mean, is this physically alive? It's here.
Hmm.
It obviously has a territory, but that doesn't look human to me.
That doesn't look human to me either.
I mean, it's wrong. And
Hmm.
then here you have a child that has no eyes, but this is an apparition that it seems to be attached to this place.
Yeah. or
I
the ground, the land.
you see, my question I ask, where are the compassionate, the merciful souls on the other side? Where are those beings that would come, comfort this child, begin to help this child through? What is going on here?
Right. I've asked that question before, and I have definitely stated very loudly my disappointment for that action occurring. Yeah,
Then you get
I don't
spirits that attack
get it.
people. This is in India. This lad was literally thrown up.
Yep. Yep.
Again, the white gown, the dark hair.
Yep.
And here is that young man again. You can see he's literally like he's getting something to eat.
That's a strong manifestation too. He's pulling a lot of power to do that.
What you can see he's almost like in a t-shirt, but it's white.
It's amazing, yes. I wonder if he was buried in that outfit
I don't know.
or if he died in a similar outfit. I always wonder if that was their sleeping attire, if they died in it, or if they were buried in it.
It's interesting. It's almost like this is what he would typically wear when he was at home.
Then that would be his like sleep attire. Yeah,
I
which
don't know what this is. This is a whole thing. And then this actually happened in Austin, Texas, where something, this child is literally standing on its toes on the rail of its crib,
holy crap in the hood.
screaming, screaming.
Yep, something
And you
had
can see
occurred
his little
already.
toes are right on the bare edge of that railing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And you can tell by the way his arms is that's a reaction when somebody's holding you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, something's got a hold of him.
And then we get more and more of the sightings of the Bigfoot.
Wow.
So anyway, lots of questions. I don't have all the answers. I don't know.
Gosh, me
But,
neither.
it,
But I have seen some of that creepy stuff,
yeah,
I have before, and it is creepy. It's really creepy.
I don't know. Someone deep thoughts here now. Is there a drive-through after the afterlife?
Right?
And it's a question I ask myself. It's odd that you're saying that this morning is that, well, do you eat? I
I
mean,
don't think I think they have a constant hunger, but I don't think they can eat.
well, then that would be hell.
I think so. I think being in a purgatory state
But that's
of
even if you think a purgatory state exists. I don't.
I mean, I see like a time loop being in a purgatory. It's because you're in a standstill. You're just in a circle going doon 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 doon. So to me, that's my definition of
Okay,
purgatory.
that would be
Being
residual energy.
Yeah, and that is my
Yeah,
definition of what purgatory would be because
yeah,
you're stuck in a loop of your energy. It's not expanding, it's not devolving, it's stuck in a loop. So I see it as its own Ouroboros kind of.
yeah.
So the serpent eating its own tail. So yeah,
So
I
150,000 people die a day on planet
yeah,
Earth.
yeah,
And we see from these cameras what would be obviously, I think, a small percentage.
yeah,
So my logical mind says, all right, Steiger, then that would indicate that there is a process.
yes,
And I don't know exactly how that process works, but it seems like the vast majority are moved through.
yes.
But why would children be so prone to be held back? Al says perhaps people manifest these ghosts. Well, uh, but then that
I
Al
think
brings up. Go ahead.
some of the children I've worked with a couple of them that I was able to get them to go into light. And there was a stronger being that was keeping them held captive. So I think a lot of these children might be under the influence of an abusive parent, something to this effect.
Yeah, I
And that
okay. So
they died as children, so they didn't understand they didn't, because when you're a kid, no matter what, you'll want to stay with your family, no matter what. I've seen the most incredible abuse for children, and they still just wanted to go home.
In Judeo-Christianism, they teach that there are no, all souls are born. They're not when they come into here. Your existence literally started when and that defies a lot of people because a lot of people say, no, 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 wait a minute. I'm an internal divine being.
You
Um,
are, but remember I told you I see the soul. It's like they were showing me when I was talking to you a spacesuit. I was like, that's the best thing I've ever. Yeah, but it's a spacesuit. You got to have a certain spacesuit to get on a different planets. So on this Earth, you have your soul spacesuit that is in alignment with the Earth. That's why humans have a hard time going into outer space because you don't have the right spacesuit.
it's interesting that you're mentioning that because in my morning meditation, you get into that lucid dreaming state.
Yeah.
I see many departed spirits come back to earth because they are afraid of the vastness of the next plane's universe.
Yeah, that goes back to not trusting yourself and trusting that you're one with everything, and focusing your vibration on a feeling and a resonance of what you want to magnetize to. And that's the thing. We let fear, trauma, stuff like that stop
Because a
us.
lot of those creatures that those cameras have captured, they don't look like they're in happy joy land.
No, they don't. And literally
No.
every time I see those, Wayne, I see chimera. I literally see this was a product of genetic manipulation that didn't turn out well. And these things might have died horrible, agonizing existences with having some type of consciousness within them.
Mm.
So that could be a horrible thing. So they might be trapped in the terror of what was done.
See, and this is really interesting because
But
those
like
creatures.
that, the Ho'oponopono prayer,
Mm-hmm.
like that doctor that just didn't even see the people and got their charts and focused on their picture and their chart and just did the ho'opono over and over and over again for a couple hours a day on each one of the people. The whole entire mental ward had to be shut down because everybody was cured. We can cure these souls, I think, with the same energies. I really do. I really do.
And this is why I love this discussion because it brings up this whole point then.
Some a
Are we
part of me, Wayne, thinks that we are responsible for this as creators, that we might be responsible for all of the nightmares that we see are direct manifestations from the nightmares that we've experienced collectively.
well, that
So
energy's got to go somewhere.
you got it, and this is the manifestation of it. And the only way to stop the nightmare is to heal it and to look at the darkness and look at the things that are potentially done, were done, and some really crazy bad things are continuing to happen currently. When we can find a way to heal that and forgive it, it will transmute that energy because energy never dies, it can only change.
All right, so I want to ask the group and the community on this. I'm going to pull this picture up again. So, what are we dealing with here? Is this a creature that can it be loved? Would it be able to respond to love? I mean, I don't think at times we think these things through enough. We talk about love, we talk about compassion in this community,
And see,
but
I can look at that thing and I would just say, "Oh my God," I'd have to feel it for a little bit. I'd have to feel about it. You can't tell by
could you
what you
think you could
see.
really the thing that I would be most concerned with, that is a powerful negative energy, it looks to me.
Yeah, but it might be scared out of its mind.
Well, obviously, it's definitely that is the poster child of fear.
For sure. And that's what I mean. It
Is
could
it
be
anger
absolutely,
that it's what we're looking at? Is that fear or is that anger?
it could be either because those emotions, they do appear to be very similar. That's what I'm saying. You'd have to be able to discern through the energy to see what was emanating from it and discern if it was pure just trying to survive out of fear, or was it terror, or was it evil? because
And
there is evil
oh,
for
well,
sure.
there's in this dimension, and I look at this and I go, is this a humanoid? Is this a different species? I mean, would they be capable of the emotion of love?
I wonder sometimes, Wayne, if emotion is specific to this experience, because I've seen in the higher dimensions, like I said, God is almost indifferent. It's
I think Source is indifferent. I don't
I
think
do
it's
too. I
yeah,
told you there's no
yeah,
emotion there.
yeah. I mean,
Everything it's all there, but there is no charge to it one way or another. It's
you know,
indifferent.
it's yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And that I think would be a great show to really get into because that blows the paradigm of a merciful God, a loving God.
Yeah,
But
because that's the duality, polarity, third dimension God.
yeah,
You fall into the
absolutely.
trap of that God, you're worshiping false
Oh, you're
idols.
going to be here. So I
Silly
mean,
rabbit tricks are for kids.
these are strange creatures. That's what I call them. But I think are we capable of even loving them? I don't know.
Wayne, I don't know if some things need to be loved. I think like some things literally need to be transmuted and be the whole being is dissolved so it can go back into source and recalculate, restructure into something that is able to be of love. Because that one thing of source can process every kind of energy and turn it into something brand new. It all
I listen. I would go on that. I could hitch my wagon up to that.
And I do. I see a lot of us after we pass forward. I think a lot of us literally will become pretty much warriors of light. I've always seen this. We literally through learning all of these things, we literally go and we help to correct, fix, transmute, heal, and restore energy.
As you were talking, and I saw that creature, because it begs the question to ask, where are the compassionate spirits? But then I heard in my spirit, which was very defined and pronounced,
Mhm.
it's its choice.
Correct. Free will.
It
And like I
is
said,
its
I have seen
choice.
spirits. I've tried to help them and they were not having it. They
Hmm.
were not having it. And then you have other ones that are totally willing to. And there
Because I
it's
think that
kind of
it wants to be here.
some do want to be here. And I think because they're so afraid. They're so afraid. They can't get out of the fear. So in that they're literally in their own hell because of their choice to be in the fear. That's why it always says fear not. Fear not. I know it's hard, but fear not. Trust me, because that fear can hurt you. So you have to have faith. You have to have a strength in your own self to know that you are eternal, you are divine, you are protected. Because if you don't, you might run the risk of turning into something like that, trapped in your own self-doubt, your own fear, your own hell, and it's their choice.
In the book Etidorfa, which is Aphrodite spelled backwards, the man that who could not see, is he took the man down into the center of the earth. There were grotesque figures that were down in these caves, and the man that was being taken down, he asked the question. He said, well, who are they? And the guide told him, he said, they are in their own world reality. Their grotesqueness is because of how they see themselves.
Yes, that's exactly what I saw.
Very interesting what this
Exactly.
could really say.
And this is how I could tell if a soul wanted to change or not. Because I learned through this process, there was a few different ways to do it, but one of the most effective ways for me now to do it is I increase the light within me and I command them to show me their light. And the
Mhm.
ones that are willing, because the ones that seem to want help, unless they're just energy suckers, vampires, or just hardcore want to attach to light and beat the crap out of it, because there's those ones too.
Assholes.
Yeah, but the ones that are drawn to the light out of curiosity and remembrance, if you can make them mirror with you and get them to emanate their own light, as soon as they activate their own light, it wakes them up. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, because I think as we're talking still, I think about that creature. You know,
Like you said, they changed their mind.
I think that, because I'm asking myself, did it ever
Yeah.
experience joy? Did it ever experience the emotion of love?
Some of
'Cause
these things I really do. I keep seeing the lab creations, and some of them have been locked up since their inception and have never been treated with 1 ounce of kindness. So that would have to be transmuted, remade. Never dies, but can be remade.
I love these discussions. And folks, if
Yeah.
anyone, because I think this is a subject that you can't talk enough about. There is a reality out there.
Yes.
This is evident. There are people who physically die that are coming back. Their loved ones see them. Doesn't happen to everybody.
Yeah.
But even the fact that the few that do says, there's your proof.
We're going to see more of it, Wayne.
I think we are.
This shift, yeah, this shift that we're in, I have always known that. They said, after 1,000 years, you will walk with, 1,000 years of Christ will reign, and you will walk again with the angels. Angels are aliens, you
She
know,
ain't human.
which means we're gonna be able to see them again. Because I think that we have in other timelines, we have walked amongst them, and this time might be fast approaching us again. And this is due to frequencies. You rip the veil. It always said the veil will be ripped. That means the sheath between the two dimensions is dissolving.
We're moving into Aquarius, right?
Correct.
And in my opinion, I see a spirit as the air, attached
Yes.
to the air.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
everyone has their own interpretation, but that's how I see it. That my spirit, it seems like I can fly. I
I
love
see
to fly.
spirit as air, and I see soul as water.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
perispirit that's made of
Hmm.
the moist water and the light, the electricity part, the electrical, I see that the air part is the air electrical etheric part, and the soul part is the water part, the part that gets all the information for the soul, so you can operate in your specific construct of wherever you're at, wherever you're, whatever planet or whatever. So I definitely, and I see the spirit and the water when they come together. That's what creates the separation out of source, the I am awareness that you are something, but all potential within that something. So that's the greatest part of us, is in the nothing up. The nothingness of us is our greatest source of power, because that's our truest aspect of God.
That's what I keep on hearing, is that we become something, and that's why you always get into the difference thing. Well, what is that something?
Yeah,
Well,
and
to
that's why
me,
they're saying it's about your choice of
mm,
consciousness. It's like, what do you want to be? I think that when we leave this planet, leave our body, I think if you literally wanted to jump into a dolphin, you could jump into a dolphin. I see this, and I see this. You see spirits jumping into spirits.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can jump in anything, because this is what you are as source. You are a part of that, and you are all potential. And I think once you drop your template body, you literally do have an opportunity to kind of become what you choose. So choose wisely. Yeah.
Randy says everything is a mirror of you. But listen, I have been out
Yeah.
on astral travels where I have been literally a light being. I was walking on this promenade that was made out of this material, and there was this river that was flowing in between this channel, and the water, when you touch the water, it
It's alive.
literally, yeah, it was alive. It
It's
literally,
alive. I know
you know,
exactly what you're talking about. I'm like,
I
it's
mean,
alive.
I have been there many times. In fact, as I'm talking about, I'm there again. I can literally see myself. And that's when I was told that I was a healer, that
Yes.
my kind is, we are known as healers.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
there.
I totally saw that, Wayne. I know. I'm like, oh, see,
Okay.
confirmation you are my brother.
Goldie Eyes God says, sounds like with Zeus and his siblings. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but I have been there. I mean, I have literally been there.
Yep, me too.
Maybe I'm seeing, maybe it was, but there were many of us there. I know there
That's
were,
why I told you we
yeah,
came to be like Jesus, and there was
yeah,
not one, there was many.
it
We
was,
all got called at the same time, same station, same mission.
there you go. Can't
Shift
argue that.
frequency. Yep, shift the planet, raise it to ascension, save as many souls as you can on the way. That
Yeah,
literally, and you came to be like Jesus, which was because we were going to be going through a time where, like I said, the systems were going to break apart. It would be up to us to take care of each other, heal each other, feed each other. We might be coming into these times, and
might be.
Jesus didn't need a lot. He walked around and did his thing, and all was good.
We're going to continue with the teachings of the masters because they get into that. They show
It,
you,
they do.
yes, they
Yes.
do. Everything is connected, folks. Well, Miss Trina, take us off. Thank you, everyone. Let me just say, yeah, by the way, the Fifth Dimension, The Age of Aquarius, great song. Uh,
Yes, it is. Oh,
it
it's
is the dawning of the age. Anyway,
Age of Aquarius. Yes, great
Marilyn
song.
McCoo, yes, they're actually preachers.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah, they have a thriving church in Los Angeles.
Very cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Age of
So anyway,
Aquarius. We have
yeah,
entered
yeah.
it, my friends.
Thank you, Ronald. He says, great show, guys. Keep it up.
Oh, we love you. Thank you for being here. You guys are what makes my heart shine.
That's pretty far out.
It's true. When I
It is.
connect to the power of this group and this community and the hope and the wisdom and the seeking of truth, it literally fills my spirit with golden rays of sunshine. So thank you all.
Hmm.
From of my heart. You helped
I
me
can't say
shine.
anything better than that. Thank you, Mary Wins.
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh, y'all are just far out. Hey,
You
Cheesesteak, good to see you. There's a lot of
are.
angelfish there. Spirit Girl. Wow. I mean, there's just a lot of people here. I love this group. White Rabbit, good to see you. All right, Miss Trina, stay with me, folks. We'll see you tomorrow with Adapt 2030. We'll get into this as to what is going on with the food supply.
Excellent.
In the meantime, love yourself and love the others around you. Wouldn't you say that?
Yes, I
Yeah.
would. Indeed.
All right,
Favor
folks.
be to all.
Bye-bye.